Bueno, gente, continuamos en The Thaumaturge de... ¿Cuánto se llama? The Thaumaturge. XD. Donde dejamos el episodio pasado en el que básicamente derrotamos al primer... ¿cómo se llama? Estos tipos, las sombras estas, nuestros amigos. Nuestros amigos. Y hemos hecho una buena... Los salutors. Los salutors. Nada, vamos a continuar rápidamente sin perder más tiempo. A ver qué quiere este tipo.
Excuse me, sir. Do you happen to know when the train arrives? The postmaster said it's usually no more than an hour late, so it should be here any moment. I got a tougher question for you.
Pardon?
Will this train get me close to Albuquerque?
I'm afraid that's an ocean away, and even to the ocean you've got a ways to go.
Thank you. Ever since I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque, I can't get my bearings. The things I've seen, sir. Places I've been. I just can't get to Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Por cierto, tenemos el... Bueno, está ahí en el pueblo ya. Quería ver lo del pueblo, lo de la señora, ¿saben? Lo de la señora en la casa que me daba opciones que no, pues que tenía bloqueada por el tema de mi árbol de habilidades. Por cierto, tengo puntos acá. Necesito darme un punto acá. Sí. Pero es la construcción de un punto adicional si el enemigo está en estado de sufrimiento. Ok, tenemos 2 de corazón. 1 de mente, 1 de acto y 1 de palabra. Ah, no, 3 de corazón y 2 de acto. ¿Dónde está el acto acá? Ah, tenemos 2 porque tenemos a este, ¿no? Causa daño, lanza a todos los enemigos. Sufrimiento, recibe daño final. Causa daño. Cuanto menos puntos de salud tenga el enemigo, más rápido será la velocidad de la habilidad. Wow. Cada enemigo adicional con estado de sufrimiento aumenta el daño infligido con esta habilidad en 8. Oh, y este hace sufrimiento, perfecto. Si los puntos de habilidad del enemigo están al 50% por debajo, la habilidad aplica de forma adicional el estado sobre el enemigo aleatorio. Lanza sufrimiento, recibe, crea, corre daño al final de cada ronda máximo. 4X. Ya. Mira, volvemos aquí al principio, ¿no?
I wanted to send 2 telegrams, one to Warsaw and one to Paris.
Mr. Shulsky, I was meant to send for you when the driver came to get the mail. My condolences about your father. Do you still want to send something?
Did you come to say goodbye to me?
More like to share my fear. Your condition yesterday, after the fight with that Bukovac, it troubled me. I don't think my treatments are having a long-lasting effect. And you don't look the best. Do you feel all right?
Decirle que sí para que se calle, contarle sobre la muerte de tu padre. Vamos a contarle la verdad, vamos a ser sinceros con él. Él era un buen tipo. Por cierto, ya no se le ve tan mal en comparación a la primera vez que lo vimos, que tenía los ojos así como cansados, como ojeras y todo. Nos han dado la carta de nuestra hermana, que nos ha contado que nuestro padre ha muerto. Quiero leerla también, por cierto. Vamos a contarle sobre nuestro padre.
I just heard that my father is dead.
My condolences.
After your treatment, when I was hallucinating, I saw him. I heard his voice for the first time in years. I'm sure it was him. A strange feeling.
Maybe he came to say goodbye. Maybe it was his last chance to speak to you. A prophecy.
I hope not.
What do you intend to do now?
¿Qué quiero hacer ahora? Decirle que tienes que ir a Varsovia, decirle que has tenido que cambiar de planes. Cambiado de planes.
Just a moment ago I was thinking about Vienna or Budapest and going on from there to Paris, but now I've got to get to Warsaw first. What about you?
Thanks to you, I don't think I have anything else to do here. I had a little time to think about what I saw in your mind. Tell me, Victor, have you ever seen a human skull cracked open on the cobblestones?
Una cabeza humana. Me gusta el efecto del pelaje, ¿saben? Está bien logrado. Decirle que no, preguntarle si es una amenaza.
Your question sounded like a threat.
Because it is, for all of us. I have the skull of Franz Ferdinand himself, with his brain spilling out onto the sidewalk. I also saw the white steps in Odessa running with blood. A battlefield blanketed in lethal fog, with faceless beings emerging from it. This hasn't happened yet, but I saw it as clearly as I see you now. Thanks to you, I know that I can stop it. I know that I am part of history, and I can change it. Even at the cost of scorn, contempt, or my life. You promised me a favor, so Warsaw sounds perfect.
Me va a acompañar. Genial. Mira, esto recién comienza ahora. Recién comienza ahora. Vamos al prólogo. El Thaumaturge. Thaumaturge.
Warszawa! Warsaw! Warsaw! Last stop, Warsaw. Time to wake up.
It's clouding over.
The weather is like my mood.
Aside from the circumstances of the funeral bringing you back, you hadn't thought of ever returning here?
¿Cómo te habías planteado volver aquí? Decirle lo que piensas sobre Varsovia, leerle lo que los periódicos dicen sobre Varsovia, decirle que no hay circunstancias como esta. Leerle lo que los periódicos dicen sobre Varsovia.
The only person I consider close is my sister, but Varsovians? Let's see. Workers are striking. They want to take advantage of the Tsar's visit to Warsaw. The protests are being violently suppressed. Last week, around a dozen people were killed. Polish Socialist Party militants attacked a train. They stole money, bonds, and explosive materials. They're also suspected of robbing a transport of Dutch pomade. The socialists in Warsaw must look pretty sharp then. Further along, we've got murders, muggings, and politics.
The newspapers feed on sensation. Remember that in darkness, even a small spark can be seen clearly. Even I can feel hope from all the people riding with us. Can't you?
La esperanza. Centrarse en leer el periódico, contarle lo que ha percibido en los pasajeros de tu viaje.
Even without my powers, I can tell that hope is bringing people here from all three petitions. Miners, steelworkers, governors, maids, speculators, thieves. I've gotten to read a few of our fellow passengers' possessions, and I know that hope can have many faces.
Will you share that knowledge with me?
Me dirás lo que sabes. Comentarle un par de observaciones.
There's a terrified woman riding with us. She's either running away or in hiding. I think that gentleman is smuggling something, because excitement is all mixed up with guilt inside him. And this dandy, he's going whoring.
If there's something I've learned in life, Victor, it's never to neglect the horse.
Warsaw, end of the line. Welcome to Varsovia.
I think the time's come to ask where you plan to stay.
I'll let you know when I come up with something.
Buen pañuelo tiene ahí como tipo corbata, ¿no? Ve al funeral del padre en el cementerio.
When people unite, empires fall.
Me gusta la ambientación igual y la vista. O sea, es un poco distinto, ¿saben? A la mayoría de juegos de este estilo. Bueno, hay muchos RPGs de este estilo. Me refiero a que no es común esta vista isométrica. Experiencia. Experiencia. Todo esto es conocimiento, ¿saben? Y es experiencia. Y ven, subí de nivel. Así, simplemente por leer. Por leer de Shilling. Ah, una lámpara. Pensé que era otra cosa. Y nada más por aquí. Las puertas están tapadas. Tanta experiencia, by the way. Tengo que entrar aquí, pero antes vamos a darnos algún punto. Estamos viendo de ralentizar las acciones del enemigo. Aumenta el daño del siguiente ataque del salutor un 50%. Está bueno. Te hace perder concentración en lugar de recibir daño en proporción 4 a 1. Elemento de cierre. Máximo 4x. Vamos a mejorar esto. El daño del siguiente ataque del salutor un 50%. Ahora disponible. Daño prolongado, sufrimiento. Ah, mira, tengo este ataque, genial. Parece la concentración brutal de los enemigos están... No. Vamos a ver. Perfecto. Perfecto, ahí. No puedo cargar con otro. Pienso que sí, pero no. Listo. Ahí lo vamos a dejar. Acto 1. La ciudad que nunca olvida.
Why such a crowd?
The circus has come to town.
These are troubled times. Brothers turn against brothers. Russia has had enough bloodshed. The violence must stop. When socialists attempt to divide Russia and her subject nations, to dent the sword that smote the enemy at Grunwald, this demands my decisive action. Thus, by my grace, I hereby appoint as Governor General of Warsaw, Georgi Antonovich Skowon.
A butcher.
Preguntarle sobre Skadon.
Not a popular guy, I presume.
I see you ain't from here. That swine keeps a photo album of all the folks he's had shot at the Citadel.
Before and after execution.
Varsovia! The time for leniency and indulgence is over. From the moment this office is bestowed on me, no forces hostile to the subjects of Greater Russia will have any further right to exist. None! Whether it be brutal socialist subversives, communists, Jews, or other satanic provocators.
He sure knows how to unite a crowd.
Pardon me. Are you Polish?
Darle una respuesta evasiva, decirle que sí. Una respuesta evasiva.
I was born in Warsaw, but I'm lapsed. My name's Victor.
Wanda.
This is Russia here. Like it or not. Warszawa. Время террора закончилось.
Иди нахуй!
My first decision as Governor General of Warsaw. Arrestować.
Great heroes in their sense of timing. Of course, now they're the first ones in the fight.
Samoobladanie, Poliaki. We want that rebel. The loudmouth.
Damn.
What happened?
Be a gentleman. Please kneel and tie my shoe.
Creo que no se cree que eres uno de sus lacayos. Olvídate. Una respuesta muy orgullosa. No solo le afecta el nivel de tu marca de orgullo, también le alimentará más.
That seems more like a job for the servants, young lady.
Go ahead. Look down. Can I ask you a tiny favor? The Russians can't find out about this. The military is just looking for an excuse to suppress the crowd, and these workers are dreaming of thrashing a Russian gendarme.
Either one of you confesses to disturbing the peace, or всех забирай. We'll take you all in.
You can't handle all of us.
Can you get us out of here?
Puedes sacar de aquí, preguntarle qué sugiere y marcharse. Están buscando al que gritó, ¿no? A este tipo. Creo que ese gritó.
I think I'm open to any kind of suggestion.
With a book like that, I'd find out what would convince one of these bastards to let us go. Or I'd take on that self-appointed leader of the proletariat.
Interesting strategy.
Una estrategia interesante. Decirle que la podías haber entregado. Preguntar quién es ella.
Who are you, really?
A damsel in distress.
Those don't usually hide ammunition in their stockings.
Can I explain it to you another time?
Decirle que la podías haber entregado.
For instance, I could disclose to a soldier that you came here with ammunition under your skirt.
Maybe we should see who they believe. A respected lady of Warsaw, or a common magician who just 100 years ago would have been burned at the stake.
Well, since you asked so nicely.
Adiós.
I'm going to take a look around.
Busca la forma de salir del encapsulamiento. Carrera policial.
Pardon me, gentlemen.
The crowd has received the order. For now, zero response.
We'll give them a moment. To arrest them all, book them, interrogate them. Gospodi will be home in November.
Gentlemen, please, forgive me. Maybe there's a faster way to get this situation resolved.
Back off, Poliak, or we'll start shooting. Paniatno, scrum. Dawaj.
Mencionarle tu apellido. Provocar una pelea entre policías. Mencionarle tu apellido. Oh, algo se te escapa, sigue buscando.
Sergeant, I didn't want to do this, but my name is Viktor Shulsky.
Shulsky or Smolsky, I don't care.
We'll make an example of you for the rest of these bastards.
¿Pelea? Ok, 41 y 39. Tengo un punto. La habilidad lanza adicionalmente el estado contra el enemigo aleatorio. La habilidad lanza adicionalmente el estado contra un enemigo aleatorio. No entiendo eso. Selección propia o de un salutor. Puedes visualizar tanto tus habilidades como las de tu salutor. Esto servirá para planear tu ataque. Previsualizar. Invocar a otro salutor. Puedes invocar a otro salutor en cualquier momento. El marco verde que rodea la imagen. El marco verde que rodea la imagen del salutor indica que son especialmente efectivos en una pelea contra el enemigo en cuestión. Lee la descripción que hay sobre el salutor para descubrir por qué son útiles en ese momento. ¿Y esto? Este. La pérdida de concentración será más eficaz contra ese oponente. Y con este, los ataques basados en el daño serán más eficaces contra ese oponente. Contra este vamos a hacer la pérdida de concentración será más eficaz contra ese oponente. Vamos con este. Vamos a matar primero. Aumenta el daño del siguiente ataque. Salutor. Y el salutor. Maldición. Cada enemigo señal del estado suplementa aumenta el daño infligido. No. Perfecto, este está en estado de sufrimiento. Y le puedo hacer vieja herida. No. Vieja herida le puedo hacer otra vez, ¿no? Vamos a hacerle esto. Ouch. ¡Wow! Ouch. ¿Y esto qué dice? Ah, mira, esto aumenta el daño del salutor ahora. Y ahora otra vez le hago... esto. 15 y 16. Toma, muerto. Claro, le hace 30 y tantos. Porque el aumento del daño del salutor con la habilidad esa está buena. ¿Por qué trae espada? O sea... Perdón, espada... munición. Los enemigos pueden tener un rasgo que los haga inmunes a tus ataques. Los rasgos están relacionados con dimensiones diferentes y se pueden deshabilitar. Deshabilitar rasgos. Para deshabilitar un rasgo, ataca a un enemigo con un salutor que pertenezca a la misma dimensión que el rasgo. Ten en cuenta que si no tienes la fuerza dimensional, puedes arrebatar toda la concentración del oponente y lanzar un ataque potente. Puedes regenerar tus puntos de salud, lo que evitará que te derroten. Espérate, ¿y este? Reduce el daño recibido un 80%. Atacar con upir anula. Ok, vamos a cambiar a upir. Soldado, concentración. Ya. Vamos a hacer que... aumente el daño del salutor un 50%. Que el salutor me cure. Sigue sufrimiento. Al final de cada efecto se acumula por... ok. Y ahora vamos a hacerle... Toda 3. ¿Por qué le hago tan poco? Ah, porque... claro, tiene el 80%, pero bueno. Cuando le ataque el otro se le va a anular. Perfecto, me he curado 14, loco. Holy. También tengo un arma. A interrumpir la acción. Me curé 8. Derrotado, acción cancelada. ¿Pero qué ha pasado? Has perdido el revólver y el grimonio. Oh, shit.
Name?
Shulsky. Victor.
One of those Shulskis?
Yes.
My condolences. Now, profile.
Thank you.
¿Sabe que mi padre murió?
What you pissing in the bucket for, asshole?
Where else am I supposed to?
Brown in the bucket, whiz on the wall.
You better remember that, too. That bucket's gonna last you guys till tomorrow.
Can I use the phone?
Estoy hecho mierda. Mojones en el cubo y meado en la pared, decía.
What are you staring at, Ganef?
I don't know what that means.
Quit squealing. First time in the big city? Have some respect if you don't know who you're running your mouth at. What did they put such a swell in jail for?
Decir que eres inocente. Confesar con honor que tuviste una pelea contra soldados rusos.
I showed a couple of Russian soldiers when I think about the petitions.
I have moments like that sometimes.
And I gave it to some Ruskies in the kisser, too. There's this red-bearded fella sitting there. I glassed him in the face, then kicked him in the bean, and wham! On the floor. And I pinched his billfold, too.
Did anybody ask you? Shut your damn trap. Well, are you from somebody?
Tú vas con alguien, preguntar quién los envía, decirle que no entiendo la pregunta, presentarte. Preguntar quién los envía.
What about you guys?
Sonny, I've still been running the protection racket with Crook at the Ruzhitsky Bazaar. My dad used to work for him. But that was back in the day. Apart from that, I stay straight. I only hassle the Ruskies when I get a little loaded.
And I'm with the shivs.
Bullshit! You ain't with the shivs. Don't you go talking crap about the shivs, cause I know them. You better give a fuller explanation, cause I lose respect real quick. I'm sensitive about folks like that. Who you from?
Decirle que no entiendes la pregunta.
I don't really get what you're asking.
Good thing you're asking and not just running your mouth, like some people. The question is, do you got a backer in town? You set up with somebody? Do you work for somebody?
Presentarme.
My name's Viktor Shulsky, and I work on my own behalf.
All right. Respect.
First of all, I am a thaumaturge.
Now them, I got respect for. I know one really decent Jew from Povishla, who's a wizard too.
How about you? You got a foreskin or what?
Is my foreskin any of your fucking business?
Well, no. I was just...
Schmuck. But you don't look like much of a Warsaw lad.
Dice que la apariencia engaña, decir que solo has venido por un funeral. La apariencia engaña, soy de Varsovia.
You should not judge a book by its cover.
A tough guy, like a real Warsaw lad.
I was born here. Now I've come home.
Welcome to Warsaw.
Aquí está Laura, ¿no?
Call you a master strategist.
You got away from the station, so theoretically, we achieved our goal.
You're not losing your sense of humor. I guess this isn't your first time in a place like this, is it?
Preguntar quién es ella, preguntar si ya no lleva la
You better
munición.
tell me if you managed to get rid of your ammunition.
If I hadn't, I'd already be locked up at the Citadel. I admit your behavior did successfully distract the Ruskies.
You're welcome.
All right then. What's such a gorgeous, hairy mug doing in a crummy place like this?
Preguntar quién es ella.
We've got a little time to kill. Maybe now you can tell me more about yourself. You seem to know your way around this setting. You been here often?
I'll take that as a compliment. And sure, sometimes, if the cause demands it.
What cause?
Let's say I know certain folks who'd find poles like you useful.
Dealers in stolen Dutch pomade?
Donut connoisseurs. They met at Burke Rotblitz's cafe.
Descubrir más sobre sus contactos.
What exactly do your friends do?
I'd be glad to tell you, over coffee and jam donuts.
I'm afraid all these screws might have more questions and want to keep you here longer.
Then you won't just miss out on the pastries, but also an adventure worthy of a great cause.
Shulsky!
I see you won't be hanging out here long either.
Shulsky, this yours?
That's right.
Then take it and get out of here.
Preguntar primero por qué te liberan tan pronto.
Can I ask why the sudden change of plans? Anyone I should thank?
If he wants to, he'll tell you himself.
Thank you.
Fue mi amigo curandero, ¿no? Carajo, ¿por qué subió por este lado? Vamos a hablar con este, pero antes vamos a darnos... Va. Y esto, vehemencia, pertenencia a Vesna, una plebeya que transcurrió que mató a su padre para ganarse la crueldad. A Bukaba le trae esta marca. Aumenta la fuerza de la dimensión acto en 1. Era para leer. ¡Qué bonito, eh! Es para abajo, así que voy para arriba. ¿Dónde estoy? Cerrado, cerrado. Carruaje. Parada de tranvía. ¿Quito? Habitación 200. Espérate, antes de ir para allá, quiero ver esta habitación. Ah, no me deja entrar. Y aquí está el carruaje. Cementerio de Pauls. Ah, mira, tengo que ir al cementerio. Cementerio quiere decir, sí. Como que el mapa se divide en secciones, ¿no? Y tengo que ir de una sección a otra en carruaje. No me gusta que cargue como que cargue se demora un segundo, a veces menos en tema de cargo de textura, ¿saben? Cuando recién empieza. No siempre pasa, pero pasa. Me jode un poquito la vista. No es algo grave, pero es algo. De momento, todo chill. Me gusta la ambientación, bro, la atmósfera. Una rosa blanca sobre la tumba. Esta fortuna en las manos de la...
I'm sure you don't remember me. My name's Hayat, Mordecai Hayat. I wanted to offer my condolences. Thank you.
My condolences.
Please, forgive my prying. I know Mr. Shulsky took nitroglycerin for his heart, but how did he pass away? Was that his cause of death? His heart?
Primero diciendo que tu padre no tenía corazón.
We've ruled out any coronary causes since the doctors couldn't confirm whether the deceased had a heart. Yes, I understand. My condolences once again. I'll leave you alone. I'm sure you want to bid farewell to your father.
Ven aquí, no seas tímido. Veronin. ¿Qué quieres?
I think I ought to arrest you, Thaumaturge.
Creo que he de arrestarte. Preguntar por qué.
I haven't done anything, officer. What's the problem? I barely recognize you either. You still haven't figured out who I am? Don't be surprised. The last time we saw one another was 20 kilos ago. Uncle Voronin? I will not keep you. The guy's probably all alone back there, among those vultures circling Stasio. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. Go on. We'll talk later.
Mi tío, eres mi tío. Alexander Veron. Ya, mi hermana se supone que está acá adentro.
Sister?
Victor. I'm so glad you came. I wasn't sure if my telegram had reached you.
I'm glad too. How are you holding up?
All this caught me off guard, but for now I don't have time to think things through calmly. Look at yourself. What happened?
No mencionar que estaba en la cárcel, confesar que has estado en la cárcel, cambiar el tema, preguntar si tu madre sabe lo de la muerte de tu padre. Vamos a cambiar el tema.
Have you written to Mother?
Yes, but what can you expect? You know what Nadia is like. It was never her style to show up for family events like this. It's getting late, and we've still got the reading of Papa's will ahead of us at home. And I'll leave you two alone. I suppose you've got your own matters to clear up.
Dejar eso para quedarte para despedirte de tu padre.
Fine, let's get this over with.
Obviamente me voy a quedar.
So, it was me who got it right in the end. Back then, on the train platform, was the last time we saw one another. 15 years ago.
15 años que no lo veía. Leer el obituario en voz alta.
After brief suffering, fell asleep in the Lord. Brief? I hope not. Did you write this yourself? A tyrant, bigot, and liar, mistakenly absolved, died after suffering all too briefly. That's better. Definitely closer to the truth.
Era un... Lo dijo de forma irónica. Era como pesado el viejo, ¿no? Era como que era medio cruel, era tirano. Mencionar el sueño que tuviste cuando te hipnotizó Rasputin.
The day you died, you visited me in my dreams. I was a child when you hounded me out of here, and I remember you as you were back then. But in my dream you looked older. You gave me hell as usual. You didn't believe I'd succeed. You were wrong.
Viste, lo trataba mal.
Two salutars.
Despedirme de corazón.
I'm sorry there are so many things I didn't get to say to your face. All those years, I said them over and over to myself in my head. How you were never able to admit a mistake. You never sought blame in yourself. Someone else was always guilty, never you. Mother because she wanted something for herself in life. Ligia because she wasn't born a boy. Me because I was born a Thaumaturge, but I didn't want to live following your principles. And now...
Marcharme.
Farewell, Father.
Am I intruding?
Decirle que ha interrumpido un momento de reflexión.
I was reflecting at the grave of my beloved father.
You tricked me. I heard something else. Stanisław and I were acquainted. You might say I knew everything about your father. Mr. Victor Szulski, isn't it? Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
Dejarle claro que no es asunto suyo.
With all due respect, this is my personal business. It was my father who knew you, not me.
Muy bien.
True. Please forgive me. I meant no harm. Again, my condolences.
I didn't catch your name.
My name's Kanichkin. Ivan Kanichkin. Goodbye.
Such interesting friends you had. I guess I'm more tired than I thought.
¿Qué es eso que le pasa? Y el otro se llama Ivan Kanichkin.
Great-grandmother Josefina, a Thaumaturge.
La corona la tiraron sin cuidado alguno. Llevar a cabo una conclusión. El funeral de Sania. Has venido más gente de lo que esperaba despedirse de padre. Parece ser que tenía tantos amigos que estaban muy afectados por su muerte y enemigos que saltaban de alegría por ella. La cosa es que padre no fallaba a la hora de provocar emociones fuertes en aquellos en los que conoció durante su vida.
Grandpa Nikodem, a Thaumaturge. I barely remember him.
Tenemos otro punto. Reacción. Por eso la canción de los enemigos está cerca del estado de sufrimiento. Ah, pero si yo los dejo en estado de sufrimiento, vamos a poner este. Vamos a poner este acá. Ya, ahí. Sí tenemos de todos. Estoy ahí. Ve a la casa de tu familia del sur del barrio. Qué bonito, ¿eh?
We can go. The hardest thing was getting the lid of the urn. The scattering I could handle.
You can play the clown, but I know how much this has cost you. I'm glad you went.
Love at a funeral. Eros post-mortem. Is it suitable for a young lady in mourning to fraternize with bachelors? Konstancja Shabowska, the Warsaw Courier. Could I ask for a brief comment?
Hyena.
Thank you. And you, sir?
Espantarle. No te elijas si quiere que intervengas. No quieres causarles problemas a ellas. Espantarles.
I suggest you leave. Otherwise, I'll overlook your womanhood and make sure you can never pronounce a single syllable correctly again.
You'd permit that to happen, Judge? Maybe I should write about this.
And who would let you print it?
Someday the press will get the Russian boot off its neck, Judge.
I'm afraid none of us will live to see the day, my dear. Come on, children. I'm sure my Petya is already waiting for us at home.
I'd love to see my cousin.
Are you coming with us?
Decirle que quiere estar a solas. Aceptar. Vamos con ellos.
Thanks.
Get in. I'm sure the lawyer is already waiting for us.
Miss, your guests have arrived. The lawyer's upstairs too, waiting. A trifle jittery. Wonder if the tea I made him was too strong.
Thank you, Grażyna, dear. Let the guests wait. First, I want to take care of the will.
I'll just wet my whistle and join you all upstairs.
Make sure Uncle makes it upstairs sober. And I'll suggest you don't dawdle either.
Master Victor, good God! Half your face covered, but I could tell right away it was you. You look just like your father in his youth. Completely his spitting image. Should I make you some cocoa, Master? It would warm you up a little.
¿Quieres que haga otro chocolate a ti también? Te hará entrar en calor un poco. Decirle que haga otro chocolate para Ligia.
Make an extra creamy one for Ligia.
Oh, I won't skimp on her. Now, your sister's putting a brave face on all this, but she's really having a hard time. It's lovely to see you again. But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
Fue a la sala de estar del padre para comenzar la lectura del testamento. Plaza Verde. Jardín. La música, loco. Mira, ¿por qué hay gente acá? Ah, son invitados, ¿no? Qué guapo, loco.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Petya! Forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanislav. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
Primo. Sótano. ¿Y tú quién eres?
I'm glad you're
mi
here.
tío.
I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stasios. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Victor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure.
Claro, ahora somos recolectores de botella. ¿Dónde quiero ir al sótano? Ah, ahora voy al sótano, ¿no? Ok, cositas. Llevar a cabo una conclusión. Botella de Brin. Cada botella de la bodega de los Szulski contiene alcohol de calidad. El tío Brin no negaría ninguna de ellas. Ya la tenemos.
How did it go? Mission accomplished?
Dale la botella de licor, dale la botella de vino rojo, dale la botella de vino blanco. La de licor.
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasha's study after every funeral we went to, and raise a toast to the dead. And recently, we've been seeing one another more and more at such events. More and more. But this time, even he has left me. So, to an easy death, as Stasha and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Lygia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone?
Proponer tu propio brindis.
May the ground be soft, Father. I'm not betting there's an afterlife.
Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get to the reading of the will?
Pregúntale acerca de ella.
At the funeral, there was this sad Jewish fellow, Mordechai Hayat. Do you know him, Uncle?
He worked for Stanisław, but that was a long time ago. I don't know him more than that. So, shall we collect our inheritance?
¿Qué hemos heredado? Unirse a la lectura del testamento.
Yes, let's find out what my father hasn't left me.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify. Mr. Szulski's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaslav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen.
Pedir que sea directo.
Excuse me, but could we get to the details?
Victor.
I think we all want to address more temporal matters, don't we?
In theory...
Would you be so kind?
Of course. Here we are. All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following. My collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first meeting.
Stasio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement.
Darles la enhorabuena a ambos y decirles que esperaras en la cocina. Esperar al final de la ceremonia. Preguntar si tu madre ha obtenido algo.
I wish you success with your business and your hunting. I'm going to have something to eat before heading off.
Just a moment yet, Mr. Szulski. Your name is also mentioned here.
A last-minute plot twist.
I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Viktor Szulski, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes, it certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Shulsky used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did Father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
Preguntar sobre el grimorio desaparecido. Me dio entonces un grimorio a mí. Y no le dejó nada a la madre, by the way.
The grimoire. Could someone have taken it? Perhaps. In all that confusion?
But why would anyone want Papa's grimoire? An ordinary person won't use it. Would the Thaumaturge just happen to be passing by?
Father had all his knowledge in there, but I don't know if it would be useful to someone other than him. I don't even know why he left it to me.
I'm sure Stasio had a reason.
A building? It collapsed on top of him? How? How did this happen?
It was a day like any other. Papa had gone for his habitual walk. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he'd take a stroll to get some space, as he put it. When he didn't come back for a long time, I got the bad feeling something had happened. Then...
we rode there together. An entire wall of a tenement had collapsed. There were 3 victims, including Stasio, who had the bad luck to simply be walking by. To see him there in that condition, it's beyond description.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
Decir que ni siquiera él merecía esto, enfatizar el hecho de que el karma siempre actúa. Oh.
He died as he lived, miserably. He couldn't have met a more fitting end after what he did to me. What he did to the Niedzic's family.
You've got to know that Papa felt guilty. Even if he didn't say so outright. I'm not going to defend him, but I can't criticize him either. Even I don't know what really happened back then with Abaurice.
An accident is what happened, and Father treated 2 kids like the worst disgraces in the world. As if it had been premeditated.
When a person dies so suddenly, their unfinished business remains. We'll never learn what Stasio carried in his heart.
What do you intend to do?
¿Qué planeas hacer? Preguntar acerca de Ivan.
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konieczkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
Preguntar acerca de Mordechai.
And Mordechai Hayat. Could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left more than a year ago. I don't know why. He was an assistant at our, well, my store.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
Admitir que el edificio es una buena pista.
I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
Decir que echarás un vistazo a las cosas de padre.
Where are father's things at the moment?
You're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but you go right ahead.
And the store? I should check that too.
I've started stock taking there to distract myself, and I don't want you to go in there before I've finished.
As you wish.
Ya es todo.
Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out, forgive me, my darlings. I'm going to give my old bones a rest.
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia. I'm sorry it happened this way. That I wasn't close by.
The most important thing is you're here now.
Oh, qué lindo. Ya actualizado. Escuchar. ¿Y este? Espero cómo fue los últimos momentos de tu padre. Mira, tenemos nuestro amiguito. Bueno, gente, vamos a dejarlo aquí. Espero que les haya gustado. No olviden dejar su like para el siguiente episodio. Un abrazo a todos, suscribirse si no lo están y adiós.